Oh, there you are, YouTube. All right, October 4th, what are we watching?
Alone.
Alone.
I can't
Ooh.
even remember what that is.
Yeah, me either. First time watch for both of us, that's for sure. Dang, so that movie was good. It was called Alone, and I don't know who the lead actress was, but the supporting character, well, there were two. I think the movie only had like three people in it. But we had an old dude from Silence of the Lambs. The guy who is what is he, like the warden or something like that? He's in it, but he's like a barely in it sort of character. But the other guy is from Ozark. Like you have that family, and that's funny too because old girl Julia Garner's in Ozark. So this is like Julia Garner's older brother in Ozark. He's in this. So he's like the only guy I recognized, and the other guy. But I don't know the lead woman in this movie. But I thought this movie was really cool. It's minimalist. It's probably stuff you've seen before, but I think this is done really well, and it's broken up into sort of like maybe three sections because you feel like you're watching three different movies. So I'm going to kind of give you an understanding of what each one of those sections are. And I thought each one was amazing. So the first portion of the movie is like Hitcher, if you've seen Hitcher. I'm not that big into Hitcher, but I feel like Hitcher goes on a little too long or something, and I just like lose interest. Here, this is only the first third of the film, maybe less than third. I'd probably say less than third. And so, if you like that, if you like Joyride, Duel, it's those movies, right? And you got this woman who's got this awesome car, probably like I didn't catch the make and model, but I think it was probably a Volvo or something, I don't know, but it looked amazing. And she's dragging a U-Haul behind her, and so she's carting some stuff for a move here. And then there's this dude that just like is following her and making these appearances around her as she's making this road trip. And it's the guy from Ozark, right? And he's got all the tellings of like a serial killer type person. He's doing Ted Bundy type stuff, right? He's wearing an arm in a sling just like Ted Bundy did, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a poor defenseless man. Can you help me, woman?" And it's like, "No, you do not need help. You are fine." And also Silence of the Lambs. That you also see that in Silence of the Lambs, right? With the sling and everything. And she knows. She's heard about Ted Bundy. I mean, I don't know this, but this is how I feel. She's seen Silence of the Lambs, and she knows, no, I'm not stopping for you. But he creates these situations where she has to stop, like he blocks the road and stuff, and he's like, "I need help." And then she's like, "Oops, sorry." Peace. But so yeah, that happens. But then he finds a situation. I don't know. Should I be spoiling this? I don't know. I guess I'm gonna kind of have to because I'm breaking up the movie into these three sections. So the second section, obviously excuse me, he gets his chance to get her basically, and then it turns into like a kidnapping movie or something like that, because it's like that movie Room. You ever seen Room with Brie Larson? She won a best lead actress Oscar for that role. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like like Black Phone or whatever that movie's called. And, any captive movie where they have captive captured somebody and then shoved them in the basement and have all sorts of bars and stuff so that they can't get out. What was that? Cloverfield Part 2 or whatever. Just think of all those types of movies because that's what it turns into next. And then you're like, oh, I'm in a whole new movie now. And you're thinking this is the entire film. This is going to be the rest of it. First we had Hitcher. Now we have Room. Nope, not over yet. Because then, spoilers, she breaks out of there. She finds a way to get on out of there. And then it turns into like a survival picture. Like if you've ever seen any movie where somebody's out there in the woods trying to survive, and we've seen all sorts of these. It doesn't have to be somebody escaping from being held captive or something like that. We've seen war films like this. We've seen just all sorts of different movies where somebody's trying to escape and they need to be stealthy and quiet and survivalists out in the woods, and because all this takes place in Oregon, and then that I feel like that's probably the biggest chunk of the movie, maybe. But it's also just exciting. I felt like the entire time it was just kind of like, yes, yes, or like, what's gonna happen? Like I was just doing that throughout so much of it, like back and forth with like, she has got this, but then he gets the upper hand, and then you're like, ugh. And there are some dumb moves that happen where she needs to be calling the cops sooner. She needs to be explaining things sooner, things like that. But you know what? When somebody's going through this situation, they're not thinking clearly. You ever seen the movie Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, the American version by David Fincher? Do you remember Daniel Craig, 007? He's out there and he knows that this like murderer, Skarsgård, is like a killer, right? He knows this, and then Skarsgård's like, "Oh, hey!" Like he catches him out in the snow. He's like, "Come here, come here," and then out of politeness, he comes in and then gets captured, right? Just because he's afraid to offend. And this movie, I feel like, deals with that, where she is, in some cases, afraid to offend, but also she knows to be like, the heck with politeness. This guy is dangerous, and I suspect that, and I know it. And she's like, you know, heck politeness. And, um, you know, I thought it was great, riveting, minimalist stuff you've probably seen before, maybe in 3 different films, but brought together, it's done really well. I thought it was a great watch, and I want to know if you've seen it. This came out in 2020, so I think it came out, it was streaming, uh, obviously because of the year, the COVID, and let's see. We watched it on Hulu. I think it might also be on Netflix right now. I don't know where it originated from, but I thought it was good. But I'm curious to know if you've ever seen the movie Alone, and if you have, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I would love to know. I just thought it was very exciting and edge of my seat type stuff. What are your thoughts? Are you gonna see it? And also, if you are watching a lot of horror style films this October, let me know what you're watching these days. I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.